Guys, on this special matinee edition of Warwick Boxing, we sit down with the incomparable Coach James Gogue. Holdings proudly presents Warwick Radio with 5-decade fight trainer, Coach James Gogue. Guys, welcome. Happy Monday to all of you. I hope you guys having a wonderful start to your work week. And if you're in the eye of the hurricane, I hope you guys stay safe. But guys, speaking of the eye of the hurricane, someone with the best eyes in the business. It's my pleasure to introduce at this time the incomparable Coach James Gogue. James, how you doing, sir?
Hey, Joe, I'm doing good. We got a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to go over the fights that happened this weekend, talk about SHAKUR's performance. But the best fight of the night was between Keyshawn Davis and that guy from Mexico, rough, rugged guy.
Yep.
Yeah, just a rough, rugged guy that tried to make it tough and physical fight to try to break Keyshawn Davis's will. But Keyshawn, he showed me the toughness and the grit, to go in there and make his, make his stand and let him know, I'm not going to be bullied around. Okay. You could try that other rough house tactics you better try that other rough house tactics on somebody else. I ain't the one. And he stood up to the bully and, he was consistently catching him with counters, coming in, hit him with some good body shots, which slowed him down a little. I think he should have went a little bit more to the body, just to let some more air out of the tires. But them short, sharp counters, the catching counters, the roll counters, and that jab of his, up and down to the head and body and everything. But you can see his elite level talent, the fast, quick-handed, explosive combinations. Then his footwork, ability to get, step around you, step in and out of range. You can see he's a complete package. But that was a great fight for him. He only got 13 fights under his belt, and it was a great fight for him. Because he's the kind of guy, he don't want to wait to 25 fights until he fights for a title. He wants it now. He's one of these, I'm ready. I don't need to wait another year or two. I don't need to get 25 fights under my belt. I could do it now. So this is the type of season he needs. Okay. If he wants to fight for them, guys in this weight division, and that 35-pound weight division is loaded, stacked, he's going to, that was a great opponent to fight, to give him that hard, physical seasoning, nurturing he needed, okay, to take that next step up. But he's the one, to me, he showed me, he impressed me most out of everybody. That other guy, Abdullah Mason, that guy, man, he's fighting. He hasn't even tasted adversity yet in the ring, okay, where a guy's taking his best punches and firing back and taking him to the deep waters in the back half of the fight. I haven't seen that yet in this kid. He's been, like I always say, he's been asking the question. He's been asking the questions, but he hasn't been answering the questions. Okay. That's what happens when you fight a guy and you're blowing him out, and it's too easy. Every single fight I've seen with him has been too easy, and they're really putting this motherfucker on a pedestal, and he hasn't even been in a He hadn't even been in a fight where he had to bite down, and then we'll find out what he's about. Like Don Chargan always used to say, just let's wait till he gets hit on the chin. Well, this motherfucker hasn't even got a hit on the chin. He hasn't tasted what a tough fight is about, like Keyshawn Davis did last night. Okay, so yeah, you can see his physical gifts and everything, but I want to see more. I want to see the other half of him, how he handles adversity, how, what do you call it, reacts, and how he responds, how he comes back. Okay, but anyway, who else fought on the card besides SHAKUR?
Shockey Foster loses his title to Brazilian Olympian, former, Robson Conceição. That was a shocker in Newark.
Yeah, I thought it was a robbery. I thought Shaki beat him, but man, I don't know what the hell they were looking at. But anyway, there's a lot on the menu to talk about, plus the Golden Boy card, which was pretty much dismal. Anyway.
Well, guys, before we jump to the co-main event and the main event of the evening featuring SHAKUR Stevenson, Artem Harutyunyan, and SHAKUR is now a free agent. So, we'll talk about that as soon as we say hello to our dear friends in the chat. First one in the chat, my brother Toby Bartlett from across the pond. Welcome to the show, sir, and thank you for supporting the coach on this day. Also, brother Alberto said, thank you, Joe, for the restless work you've been putting in. It's always a great show when Coach joins. Yes, it is. We need to hear from Coach to start our week, guys, for boxing. And thanks be to God. We really appreciate you, Coach, being here, brother. Also, my brother Robert Zen Gonzalez, who's making his pro debut in San Antonio on August 24th at the Shrine Auditorium. Look forward to that. And we'll be meeting after this show is finished. Also, my brother here to there. Cheers to you, my friend, and thank you for joining us across the pod as well. Good to see you supporting the coach, brother. And I tell you what, and Clay Stevenson, we always appreciate his insight. He says, thank you, Coach, for saying that about Abdullah Mason. Because,
thank you.
It's you know what? And once again, he brought up what our mentor, the Don, stated. Yeah, don't get too high on a prospect until you see how well he can take a punch. And we saw that with Victor Ortiz, Marcos Maidana.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You saw that with the Bitchko brothers, Vladimir, early on when he got drilled by Ross Purity. Remember that?
Yep. Oh, boy.
Yeah, Ross. Yeah.
Well, and the list goes on and on.
And Lamont Brewster, he got drilled by him. Then, that was when Emmanuel started working with early on. It took Emmanuel a while, to get into this, to get into his head, you know what I mean? To implement his style, the Kronk style, like Emmanuel likes to say.
Yep, that's it, guys. And look, don't forget, I think the most recent one that we could say that was rushed too quickly, they padded his record with a bunch of stiffs. And then as soon as he fought the champ, you could at Erickson Lubin, guys. Remember how highly touted Erickson Lubin was? Very quickly. Yeah, he doesn't have the world-class chin he needs to be a long-standing or, even maybe become an old champion, because he has yet to become a champion. And he's going to have a very hard time with that chin, especially now with Virgil or Jr. in the division, as well as Terrence Crawford, Israel Madrimov. Yeah, he's going to have a very hard time, sir. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, Joe, you're breaking up. What's going on? Yeah, I can hear you, but you were breaking up a little.
Okay. My apologies, guys. I shouldn't have that problem any further. And I also want to welcome Juice. Yes, matinee with Coach Gogue. Also, Coach, I like your opinions as a young boxing fan because you don't sugarcoat anything like some of these other channels or coaches that are on YouTube. No, sir.
They don't know shit. That's why. They don't know shit. What the fuck? Come on, man. I mean, honestly, man. Come on, man. A lot of these fucking guys, I don't even listen to a lot of these clowns, man, because I cringe. When I hear them, I'm like, oh God, oh God. I learned this shit from the last century. Okay, I learned this starting in the 80s. Okay, I started learning this early 80s. Okay, so I'm familiar. 70s, I was following boxing as a kid. That's what got me interested. But in the 80s, I started really, getting into it. That's when I got into this business. And now, I hear these young trainers nowadays, and I just fucking cringe. Or these boxing experts. I'm like, oh, God.
Boxing experts. Yeah. But no. What I was saying while I was breaking up was the most recent example of not having a chin. Don't get too high on our prospect is Erickson Lubin.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah. That was a big disappointment for Al Heyman. That was supposed to be his next, whatever. SSV Diving, thank you for supporting the coach on this day. Also, Eric Gomez. Yes, sir. Thank you for supporting the coach. Now let's get to it. Now, once again, going into this, O'Shaquie Foster didn't really sizzle when he fought Abraham Nova. And a lot of people were anticipating that he was going to put forth a more, exciting, entertaining, and responsible effort against, Robson Conceição. But what happened, Coach?
Hey, Joe. Honestly, the fight wasn't that entertaining, but I still thought he was winning the rounds because he boxed him good. Okay, he wasn't trying to get in a physical toe-to-toe firefight with this guy. He was using a lot of movement, working a lot of feints, working that jab, the combinations and everything, counters, roll counters, just making – he played his safety first a lot, okay? Now, that pretty much cost him the fight. He was hiding behind his jab too much. He should have let the combinations go a little bit more, okay? Be a little bit more consistent with his punch output between rounds, working off that jab, working off angles, okay? But that's pretty much why it cost him the fight, Joe. Even though I thought he still won the fight, just doing little as he did. You know what I mean? But, you got to put your combinations together, man. And once you got your jab established, let your hands go, man. The fuck? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you're worried about the guy countering, mix some feints in there, okay, to freeze them, then get off, okay? Or when you're going to counter with combinations, 2, 3, 4 shots instead of one shot. And, just don't hide behind your jab. And that's another reason why, I think the judges felt the other guy was the more assertive guy, the more aggressive guy, the guy that was in more control. And you're taking the fight to Foster.
Robson. Yeah.
Yeah, Robson was taking the fight to Foster. But I still thought he won the fight, just because, what did they say? 80% of 80% of judging is clean, effective shots landed. And I thought what's his name was landing the cleaner shots. Now, the other guy was pressing the action. Okay, you could see he was pressing the action, and I thought, honestly, Joe, I thought there were the two judges they gave for him were Mexican judges because that's the only criteria they judge, how they judge pressing the action, throwing a lot of punches. Even if they don't land, they still give you the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? So, but he did get I thought he got shafted, but looking back at it, Joe, I'm just thinking about this now. He should have been more assertive in his putting his combinations together more consistent, hitting this guy. He would have hit this guy. This guy was right there to get hit.
Yep.
Shit. But anyway, yeah.
Yep. It became a balancing act for the judges at ringside, and there were a lot of really difficult rounds to score. Do you give the round to the guy who's forcing the action overwhelmingly, the more work, or the guy who's landing the cleaner, more effective shots, but it's by a very wide margin? So how do you score some of those rounds? Now, most of the swing rounds I saw happened within the first half of the fight. The second half of the fight, Coach Gogue, did it look to me like O'Shaquie Foster clearly won those rounds in the second half? And that's what made it very difficult, I think. Your thoughts on that, sir?
I thought he won a lot of the first half of the fight. I thought he won a lot in the second half of the fight. I thought he won the majority. You know what I mean? I just thought he was boxing. Last round he lost. I thought he took his foot off the pedal, and the guy outworked him, and the guy hit him with I think more cleaner shots, and that was the deciding factor because if Robson Hansakow lost that last round, it would have been a draw on one of the scorecards. You know what I mean? Because one of them was 115, 113. So
Yes,
that
sir.
that last round won them the fight. But anyway, you know what I mean? You got two fighters that nobody gives a shit that can't sell tickets. So oh well, that's their problem, not mine.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say, guys. And once again, the only people who really cared about this were diehard fans, and not a lot of them, because O'Shaquie isn't exactly a household name. So I really don't understand why ESPN and everyone else were up in arms about this. It's like, look, if and do you think maybe everyone talking about Shakur not doing enough and being exactly scintillating in the ring, do you think that lended to the judges in their decision making?
Fuck. I don't. Nah, Joe, Daryl, that's different fights. They had different judges, different fights.
No. I know. It's just all of the chatter. I mean, this is the entertainment business. And,
man, like I said, Joe, them judges, they were sent ringside and they were judging the fight according to their eyes. Everybody has a different perspective. You know what I mean? On how they judge a fight. You would have got some judges that like that. What O'Shaquie did and gave him 8 out of the 12 rounds. Then you got these other two judges that scored it against him. They judge it like a Mexican fight, like these Mexican judges up here in Mexico. Be aggressive, throw a lot of punches, and and you're gonna win the round. I mean,
well, I tell you what. Hopefully, the WBC demands or orders a rematch. I think that's most fitting in this situation. If O'Shaquie Foster chooses to fight on at 130 pounds, because I was told that he may not. I think he's outgrown the division. So do you think maybe that lended itself to the efficient or very conservative output, Coach?
I don't know. They got damn near 50 hours to recover. How the fuck should it affect them? You know what I mean? Between weigh-ins,
That's a very good point, sir. That's a very good point. They're no longer same-day weigh-ins. But I'll tell you what, let's move on. So congratulations, nonetheless, to Robson Conceição for his first world title-winning effort, albeit amidst controversy. But let's move on. Speaking of controversy, let's move on to the main event of the evening, in which Shakur Stevenson successfully defended his WBC title against Artem Harutyunyan, almost pitting a shutout. And I don't know what that referee was, or that judge was thinking, who actually scored it 8-4, giving Artem Harutyunyan 4 rounds. Coach Gogue, did you see this as pretty much a shutout?
Yeah. Shakur, he applied the sweet science really nice. It was more entertaining than that De Los Santos fight. At least he took some chances in this fight. He was more physical, assertive, pressing the action, and this is in the second half of the fight. And he stood there in the pocket, you know what I mean, and tried to trade and fought in there, with this other guy, with that, I don't know, what's that guy, Russian guy? Is he Russian
Artem
or German?
Harutyunyan, and he's Uzbeki.
Oh yeah, whatever the fuck he is, yeah. But anyway, yeah, he stood there and fought the guy. He didn't run, imply the sweet science, and played tag with him all night. He was a lot more assertive and physical, aggressive in the pocket. Now, he needs a lot, to be an effective inside fighter. You can see he needs a lot more work. He needs to be taught a lot more stuff. He's not really fully what do you call it? Skilled. Okay, he's only half skilled in the pocket. Okay, he doesn't have that offensive arsenal, that offensive repertoire in the pocket. Okay, like really good skilled inside fighters have. Okay, he's got the talent to do it, but evidently, nobody's ever taught him how to stay there in the pocket and work effectively in the pocket with good skills and technique and good intelligence. You can see he doesn't have that part of his game yet. It's halfway developed, but he has the talent and the ability to learn it. But his coaches ain't been teaching him it. You can see they haven't been teaching it, because if they've been teaching him it, he'd be doing it All right. But anyway,
that's absolutely right.
Yeah. But his range and distance game, his ability to counter range and distance, step in and out of range, establish that jab. He knows his range and distance so good. He knows the range he could hit you, and he knows the range that his opponent could hit him, and he adjusts his feet accordingly just to get out of range. But range and distance, him, Andre Ward, Crawford, Mayweather, best I've seen this century. Oh yeah, they're motherfucking good. But inside, yeah, you can see he's not fully evolved, fully developed yet. That stuff is they need to work on, to develop it and everything. But I don't think he ever will, because I don't think they're ever going to teach him how to, they don't, hey, you can't teach what you don't know. All right.
That is absolutely right, Coach. And once again, what would he be waiting for then? Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. But look,
I'm not absolutely right. I know I'm right, man. Fuck, yeah. I've been in this shit a long time. I can see they don't work it on it. I can see when I can see the stuff they don't work in the gym. I can see the stuff that they don't work on in the gym. Okay, because he's not doing it in the fight. All right,
and that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. But with that said, I think you're right. I think a lot of people put way too much emphasis on his last fight with Edwin De Los Santos, and pretty much putting all of the responsibility on Shakur. When Edwin De Los Santos, we already knew that was, we called it before that fight that it was going to be a stinker. In this one, I thought Shakur looked actually very good after the first 3 or 4 rounds.
Yeah.
The only problem I saw was he seemed to be having too much fun in there and, quote unquote, playing with his food, not cutting off the ring and closing the distance as effectively as he should. Coach, would you say that that's a product of not really being the aggressor and fighting on the inside frequently enough, or not being taught that skill set?
It has nothing to do with it, Joe. That guy, Arteminian, whatever his name is, he always had good footwork. That's stuff he learned from the amateurs. Okay, learning how to fight in and out of range, moving in circles, stepping around you. So you know what I mean. He had his lead leg on the outside of Shakur's lead leg, so he was able to turn the corner, pivot around him and make Shakur turn. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was you got to give that Uzbek guy credit. You know what I mean, for being able to what do you call it? Step around him, not get caught in one place, to be a stationary punching bag. So Shakur, you know what I mean? He's so used to controlling range and distance, guys coming to him, but when he has to take it to his opponent, that's something new to him. That's something he's got to learn in the gym, on how to cut the ring off more effectively, how to take away a guy's escape routes, and stuff like that, how to prevent a guy from pivoting around you and stuff like that. But his offense needs to expand more. Because once you learn how to do all that, cutting off the ring, taking away escape routes, you got to have the offensive repertoire to put the combinations together to stop that shit. Okay, and and keep on pressing the issue and everything. You know what I mean? This is all new stuff. This is all stuff that he's got to learn. Like I said, he's got a lot of growth. He's got a potential growth if they teach him all this stuff, on everything I talked about and everything. Yeah, the kid you can't teach his God-given ability, his reflexes, his instincts, his sense of range of distance, his jab, his boxing IQ, his countering. Nah, man, you can't. You just got to add more stuff that he's not doing now. Now, Pernell Whitaker was shit. He was pretty damn good on the inside. Okay. Being a slick, elusive fighter. He was a devastating body puncher. Whitaker, with that left hand, that little sweeping left uppercut to the body, or that little sweeping left hook to the body, and that right hook to the body followed up. He was a underrated body puncher, underrated inside fighter. Now, I don't see that from Shakur. I don't see that type of offensive repertoire at close quarters like Pernell Whitaker. I don't see it. That's stuff he's got to learn. Whitaker could do this shit when he was in the amateurs, man. You know, yeah, he was devastating, underrated, man. And SHAKUR could do the same thing. He's got the ability, but you can see he doesn't practice enough in the gym, or his coaches don't teach him or stress to him. And that's stuff you got to learn, man. You know, you're fighting. You're going up the level. You gotta have more weapons in your arsenal to bring out when you need them. Whitaker, you can't say that. Everybody says, he's born out, he's hard to hit, but you get him on the inside. You know what I mean? He'll rip you with some good body shots and everything, man. You know what I mean? So that's something SHAKUR has not evolved into yet.
I agree wholeheartedly, Coach, with everything that you've stated. And to be honest with you, maybe I'm just the fly in the ointment here, but the way I see it, the O'Shaquie Foster decision, now going back to that may be a blessing in disguise. Maybe sending a message to all champions. It's not enough just to play it safe and to have a minimal effort. This is the entertainment industry. You need to do more. This ideology of you have to take the title from the champion is absurd. In my opinion, it's not enough just to win on points. This is an entertainment. Look at Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal.
Yeah.
That was a big time event. Now, I'm really sick and tired of these guys saying, it's a sweet science. Man, well, you know what? It's also entertainment. If you're going to bore fans, and create a snooze fest in the ring, that's not good enough. And that's definitely not good for the health of the sport. Your thoughts on all of that?
The motherfuckers, it's a sweet science. Them motherfuckers never paid to go buy a ticket to a fight. The motherfuckers that pay to go buy a ticket for the fight, they want to see action. They want to get entertained. These motherfuckers that say, this is a sweet science. All them motherfuckers I hear on the internet, I bet you they never been to a fight, or they never paid bought a ticket to go see a fight. You know what I mean?
Yep. Because look, we look at William ZEPEDA. Let's shift gears and go across the country to Ontario, California, and William ZEPEDA. I guarantee you none of his fans fell asleep in 3 rounds. Coach, William ZEPEDA, what were your thoughts on seeing him? And does this say anything at all? Because we both don't have any respect for Giovanni Cabrera from Chicago.
Look, another guy that's been having it all his way. All right. You look at all his fights. I have never seen him where he had to, bite down. Okay. A fight through adversity. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad fighter. I'm saying he's going to be a tough out for somebody, but there's always somebody out there that's going to be able to take your punches, be able to take his pressure and fight back and fire and hit hard and hit him hard. So I want to see, how he adapts, makes those adjustments when he's in those tough moments in a fight. Okay. Because right now, once he gets his momentum, once that guy gets his momentum and he hits you with a few shots, boy, it's like a avalanche. You know what I mean? All downhill for the opponent. That guy just puts his combinations together, and he 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to the body, head, and the head and body. Inside, he's as good as offensively. He's as good as it gets. He puts his combinations together, with good body shots, good variation of body shots. Then he goes back upstairs. Then he goes back downstairs. He mixes his combinations up beautifully, up and down and up. And he's he's in tremendous condition to do that because he has, his punch output is real high, at least 1,000 punches a round when it goes over 10 rounds. And, he has the conditioning to do that because where he trains in outside of Mexico City. And he's a tough out for anybody, but I have never seen him. Look, he's coming up, and I never seen him how he reacts to adversity. So, he's gonna face it. Man, the moment of truth comes to everybody in this business. All right.
Yep.
There ain't no
his stablemate, Subriel Matias.
There ain't no red carpet in this. there is no red carpet, okay, in this business where every fight you fight is you're gonna be walking on a red carpet. Nah. This business, like Larry Merchant said, is a theater of unexpected. You're gonna expect it. I mean, it's gonna happen when you least expect it. So I want to see how I'm pretty sure he's in condition, but I want to see it. I want to see it in the fight, just like Abdullah Mason. I'm not sold on. I mean, I can still no question about his talent and all that shit, man. But I want to see him in a fight. You know what I mean? And see how he adapts, how he adjusts, how his mental mindset is, how he keeps his composure and poise. And I want to see this guy, ZEPEDA, is a little bit more seasoned. So, you can see he's more experienced, meaning more calm, more composure and poise and everything. So, if he does have a tough moment in the fight, you know what I mean? He has more maturity than this younger kid, Abdullah Mason. But now he gets to fight for a title. Pick the champion he wants to beat. I mean, pick the champion he wants to fight. And Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson. Who else is there, man?
Baranchyk,
and who else?
Well, let's see. It's Tank Davis,
Shakur Stevenson
with the IBF, Shakur Stevenson, WBC.
Yeah.
And then the WBO is Baranchyk, who beat Navarrete to win the vacant title.
Yeah, Oscar, he needs to get him a title fight. I mean, force issue number one.
Coach, I'm going to ask you this. Now that Shakur Stevenson is a free agent, and seeing that it was by design, from what I've been told from Golden Boy Promotions and DAZN, that they wanted to feature William ZEPEDA on the same evening as Shakur Stevenson, are they going to force his hand right now, force it to purse bid without a promoter so they can bid on the fight and win it?
Smart. Oscar's smart. Yeah, Oscar's. I never thought about that, Joe. But if he does, that's a smart move. That's playing chess, okay, in the business of boxing. That's smart. So, yeah, let him bid. And, you know what I mean? This motherfucker, I'm damn sure Eddie Hearn is not going to pay this motherfucker what he wants. He turned down $3 million. I heard $3 million per fight for 5-fight deals. And he thinks he could get more from Hearns. Well, okay, good luck. This fight goes to purse bid. Guess what? He goes to purse bid. Say it goes to purse bid, and Hearns don't bid because, Hearns ain't going to bid that kind of crazy money if he ain't got you signed. And only Golden Boy bids, and, say it's $1.5 million. You think he's going to want to fight, for less than $1 million? I guess a tough guy like that.
Let me ask you something, Coach Gogue. Why do these young fighters, Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, all have this strange sense of entitlement and think they're these massive attractions? It seems to be an epidemic in America.
Social media, baby. Yeah. They're delusional. They live in fantasy land, man. They don't understand their market value. Now we're going to find out if this motherfucker doesn't have a promoter, by the time that this fight, Golden Boy decides to go after him and force a purse bid, and he doesn't have a promoter. And hey, man, Oscar could bid 400. Look, they go to a purse bid, and only one guy bids, and Oscar bids 750,000. Well, guess what? He either takes it according to the rules, or guess what? Vacate the title.
Yep, that's it, guys. Yeah. And look, Haney, we've already seen that. 1.5 million is beneath him. I was shocked when I saw that, but I wasn't. I actually told everyone that was going to happen, and I was hoping he would disappoint me. But look, after the inflated purses that he's been receiving, that's par for the course, and that seems par for the course for this generation of fighters in America. Not anywhere else in the world.
Joe,
yep.
I've seen purse bids. Nobody gave a shit. Nobody bid it for $15,000 for in the lower weight division. Guys fighting for the title for 5 G's. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's tragic, brother. But once again, that's what happens. If you think you're worth more than you are and you force something to purse bid and don't make a deal, guys, that's where this is headed. And once again, Golden Boy Promotions, from what I've been told, they've been eyeing this for months now. And this date with William ZEPEDA fighting on the same day as Shakur Stevenson was by design, expect them to start to reach out to Team Shakur Stevenson very, very soon, guys. From what I've heard, that's been their play for a while. Let's see how it plays out, guys. But Anthony Mazzano says this, Coach. Coach, Shakur Stevenson is not a natural inside fighter to me. That's why he prefers using his range, and I don't think his power justifies him constantly going on the inside. But, Coach, is that not – Emmanuel used to tell me that's arguably the safest place to be, on the inside.
If you know how to fight on the inside, it is the safe. Joe Goosen, not Manuel. Manuel didn't believe in the inside fighting.
Oh, yeah, it was Joe Goosen. You're absolutely right.
Joe Goosen, yeah. If you know how to fight in the pocket, it's pretty much the safest place to fight in the ring, because you're not taking the full leverage of them long-range bombs coming at you, hitting you with all that speed and torque. But Shakur, you know, he doesn't belong. You know, he doesn't belong on the inside. But you're going to have to be forced to fight in the inside, and you better, you know, instead of just smothering the guy, tying the guy up, you know, which makes it the fight. What do you call it? Non-entertaining and boring and not fan pleasing. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, you better hit. You know, if you want to fight like that, well, guess what? In this day and era, if you want to fight like that and safety first and hold and hug and, you know, tie your guy up in the inside, don't want to fight, well, guess what? You're going to hear a lot of shit from the fans and social media. So don't complain, don't bitch. You know what I mean? He doesn't, you know, he has ability. He has the talent to do it, but he don't have the skills yet to do it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
He don't, you know, if Shakur wanted to, he'd box the shit out of you from long range, and this is the whole fight. Move and box. Yeah, shit. You know, he would never gain the respect of the fans, and you know, them big time paydays. Oof, they won't be lasting long and everything. Well, they're not, you know, hey, we're gonna find out what his market value is if Eddie decides to bid on this guy, okay? Eddie, you know, like I said, he got a 35-pounder. He wants to move to a title fight. What's that guy's name? That Cuban?
Oh, Cruz, Andy Cruz.
Yeah, Andy Cruz. He wants to get him in a position for a title shots. You know what I mean? But you know, it's man, I can't see how Eddie's gonna pay this guy that kind of money, man. I mean, it's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, guys, look, and let's just face it. I know that everyone is anticipating Eddie Hearn making a play for Shakur Stevenson, but realistically, aside from Andy Cruz, who's going to put him up against? Who does he have at 35? And he doesn't exactly have a great working relationship with anyone in the United States.
Well, that's Eddie's problem, man. You know, all I know, this guy, PBC's pretty much done. Top rank, Golden Boy ain't gonna pay that kind of money he wants. So he only got one option. That's Eddie. So guess what? Eddie's got the leverage. I mean, Eddie could, hey man, this is what you're gonna get. You know what I mean?
Well,
he might have to go back. He might have to go back to Top Rank to take that offer if it's still on the table. They can say, "Hey, fuck you. It was on the table. Now it's not on the table." You know what I mean? So I've seen it before. I've seen that happen before.
Yep, that's why I'm laughing. You're absolutely right.
I've seen that happen before, man. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, nothing bad for the kid. I like him, man. You know, he takes a lot of heat. This is a social media era, so you're going to take a lot of heat if you're not entertaining your fans. You know what I mean? But you know, skill wise, oh yeah, man. He's got the ability, man, to become an all-around fighter, meaning be able to fight on the outside like he does and be just as effective on the inside. Now, what's that guy's name that said he doesn't fight on the inside? What's that guy's name?
That was Tony Manzano.
Well, fuck. How come Pernell Whitaker could do it?
Yep. That's it.
All right. Yeah, he got the same type of skills, elusive, great footwork, great defensive skills at range and distance, good jab, good counter puncher. But Whitaker can fight in the pocket. SHAKUR can't. So you can't tell me he doesn't belong. Hey, you can say that same shit about Whitaker. Oh, he don't belong in the pocket, but he did, and he was damn good. A devastating body puncher.
Well, look, and here's another very quick question because we only have Coach for a short amount of time. But he said, Coach, in your honest opinion, is it harder to teach a great inside fighter to use his range, or a great range fighter to use his or to compete and defend himself on the inside?
It depends on the talent level, really, man.
That's
you know what I mean? You got a guy that, hey, that's only, he's got short arms, a little spark plug, physical fighter in your face. Hey, man, he ain't got no business on the outside. His best work is going to be on the inside. So you try to keep the fight in the pocket as best as possible. But when you got a guy that's talented, that has ability to fight at range and distance, but has also the talent to learn learn the skill sets on how to fight him in the pocket. You can be both. You could be multi-dimensional. What I'm trying to say, I said in one-dimensional. Okay, you can have more dimensions to your game. Now, fighting in the pocket, boy, it's hard to teach, man. I mean, it's hard to teach because a lot of guys ain't comfortable on that. On that trench, that phone booth warfare, that trench warfare, that in your face, contact, physical contact at close quarters. They don't like that. They rather stay at range and distance where they feel more comfortable. When they get close, they just haven't developed the skill sets. Because once you develop the skill sets on how to fight inside, man, it's comfortable. You're just as comfortable at fighting at range. Once you develop that comfort level, which comes from developing the skill sets, which takes time, which takes a good teacher, that knows how to teach you this shit. Because nowadays these trainers don't know how to teach you that. Hell, fuck no.
Yep.
I can tell you that right now. They just tell you.
Yep.
They tell you to get inside and throw punches with no fundamentals, with no skill sets involved. Okay. Yeah. But anyway, that's another topic. I could talk about it for an hour on the details and on the tactics, on what it takes to develop the skill sets to fight inside and all that shit. But SHAKUR can do it. I can see his talent, but you can see he doesn't practice it enough in practice. You can see he doesn't practice it enough in training, or he's probably not being. I can guarantee he's not being taught.
Yep, that's it. I can't disagree with any of that, and I don't see how anyone could disagree with anything that you're saying, because you've got this longevity, you've got the eyes. Yeah, Gogue's word is gold on the channel.
Hey,
but look,
let me tell you this.
Ahead,
let me tell you this one time. Yeah, it was an amateur I had back in 15 and 16. He was a two-time national Golden Glove champion, Pablo Ramirez. When I first got him, he was just like SHAKUR, just outside moving. You know what I mean? Counter punching. When you got him on the inside, he had no idea how to fight. Smother you, tie you up. What do you call it? When he would spar Brandon Figueroa, Brandon would put that heat on him, and he would panic and all that. Then once I started teaching him how to fight in the pocket with skill, with fundamentals, with IQ, boxing IQ. Oh boy, he developed another skill set to his game, and because of that, he was able to win back-to-back USA National Golden Gloves. He was able to be named outstanding. He was named outstanding fighter of the tournament in 2015, beating out Boots Ennis, SHAKUR Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez. He beat them all out for the outstanding fighter of the tournament because he had them type of pro style skill sets them other guys didn't have. And when he started sparring Brandon Figueroa again, who was a little ball buster, gets in your face, bully who tries to run you out of the ring, he stood his toe 8 rounds, toe to toe. He was able to fight in the pocket with skill, with boxing IQ, with fundamentals, and take that physical pressure that Brandon Figueroa brings at you. Yeah, he couldn't do it before I got him. But once I started teaching him, shit, he was going 8 rounds. He was still in the amateurs too. So you can't tell me a fighter can't learn it. He's got to be taught it. Okay, he's got to be taught it.
Yep, that's it. That's it, guys. Coach, do you have 5 more minutes?
Yeah, yeah.
Very good, because we want to get your thoughts on this upcoming event in Philadelphia at the Wells Fargo Center. And that's going to be Jaron Ennis making his debut on Matchroom Sport DAZN. He's going to be taking on former title challenger David Avanesian. Coach, your thoughts on this? Well, everyone is calling this going in not exactly a mismatch, but it's going to be a one-sided ass whooping until he stops David Avanesian. Is there anything more you'd like to add to that?
That's a fucking mismatch, Joe. All right? A one-sided ass whooping before he gets knocked out. That's a fucking mismatch. It's not even going to be competitive, man. You know, and how much is Eddie paying this motherfucker? $3 million?
$3 million. Yep.
Well, at least this guy's gonna, put asses in the seats. And another thing, at least this guy's exciting. At least this guy's multi-dimensional. Okay, there's a lot of dimensions to Boots Ennis. Okay, he's pretty much a complete fighter. Now he needs to prove it himself with fighting the best out there. He's ready though. He's ready, man. But the thing is, he's paying him $3 million for this fight.
Oh, jeez.
Do you think Eddie's got another $3 million for SHAKUR he could give him? Come on. Okay. I don't think the zone is going to be that nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Look.
And this Boots is exciting. He's explosive. Yep. He gives fans that knockout, which they want. Okay. And he does it with such high skill level. And he's so entertaining, man. I like Boots, man. I like Boots. If you're going to spend $3 million on a motherfucker, you spend it on that guy. He's hey man, he's a future, what do you call it, pound for pound star in boxing. Okay, but he's got to get the motherfuckers to fight him so he could prove himself. But you see him, man. I can't believe, man. When he was in that, my guy was in that tournament with Boots Ennis in 2015. I couldn't believe it when he beat out that guy and Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez, three damn good fighters for outstanding fighter of the tournament. Yeah, I can't believe it. That just tells you how much more evolved my guy was than them guys. You know what I mean? How much of a pro style. Yeah, because them guys are good fighters, man. Yeah, them guys are good fighters. And Boots, he's I think he's going to be one of the pound for pound, number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world. Give it time and let them guys get in the ring with him and everything. So then he'll prove that he's worthy of that number 1 pound for pound in the world and everything. But yeah, Eddie, Eddie gave him $3 million. Well, Eddie didn't give him shit. DAZN did. So
yep.
So that's to me. And there's gonna be over 10,000-12,000 people there. Good little first opponent. Tailor-made, to get his ass for. Yeah, that's a good first opponent, to build that Philly market up, man. Yeah, I could see him packing 19,000 people at that stadium with the right opponent, man. Yeah, this guy's good, man. He's exciting. Yeah, he's explosive. He could punch. That dude got it all, man. That guy, yeah. Look, ain't too many fighters I get excited about, but that Boots Ennis is one of them, man. Yeah, he's good. He's solid.
Indeed, guys, and it's coming up this Saturday night on DAZN from the Wells Fargo Center. He's going to be making his big debut on Matchroom Sport DAZN. He's also going to be making his, big event debut in his hometown of Philly. Coach, why wasn't Cameron Duncan or anyone else featuring cards with Boots Ennis headlining?
Fucking dumbasses, man. Don Chargan would have took him to Philly as soon as that guy turned pro, and he'd be so much bigger now, man. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's when you don't have good people behind you, man. You got a bunch of fucking guys that don't know what the fuck they're doing. That's what happens, man. He should be a star, an established star in Philly, a mainstream star, just like the 76ers, the Eagles, or the Phillies. Any of them guys. He's such a unique, multi-dimensional, gifted athlete, fighter. Oh man, he's, you know what I mean? And his
Yep.
dad, Bozy, he does such a
Both
great
Ennis.
job
Yep.
at training him. His
Yep.
dad, see, he had two other brothers, but his two other brothers didn't have the talent and ability like Boots. You know what I mean?
True.
Even Bozy was telling people, he goes, "Oh, Boots, you know, Boots is the he's the real one. He's gonna be the star of the family." Yeah, because I seen the other two other brothers fight. They were tough, solid guys, but nothing like his baby brother Boots. Oh, that guy's a talent, man. Yeah, and that 3 million Eddie, that 3 million DAZN is paying for him. Yeah, it's gonna be a good investment because they could grow off this and you know, build something special over there in Philly, which he should have been done it should have been done already. You know, he should have been an established star, you know, selling out that venue 2 years ago. But yeah, that's what happens when, you know, Cameron, he did a great job of building him up, building his record and this and that. But, you know, there's more he could have did for his career.
Yep. A lot more. Once again, I don't want to, criticize someone who is no longer with us, so I'm just not going to. But but look, you don't sign with a promoter who doesn't have any TV dates. I don't know why he did that in the first place. So
Cameron got in good with his dad. So, you know, they went with Cameron and Chris Mittendorf, and they, you know, off TV, they built him up. But one thing they did a great job in keeping him busy. One thing Cameron is an old school. He believes activity. Okay, that's how you get a fighter busy, activity, and they kept him busy. And Chris Mittendorf was like 300. Chris Mittendorf was his promoter when he first started with Victory Promotions, and Chris was 300 in the hole, you know, before he started getting his money back. Yeah, he was 300 in the hole. Because, you know, I might as well say it. I don't give a fuck.
Go ahead.
When they signed the kid, they gave him a monthly stipend. I think $2,500, $3,000 a month. They were paying for all his fights because they were in, you know, he wasn't with one of the big promoters, so they paid for all his fights. You know, on all the expenses that came with with all the fights, like the airfare, hotel, food, the opponent's purse, medicals, and all that shit. And that's just one fight. And they did it for a shitload of fights. What else? So, you know, Chris was like 300 in the hole and everything. And before he started getting his return on his investment, you know, and started making his money back and everything. But that's boxing, though, man. You know what I mean? 3 years, 4 years, you could be in the red. And, you know, if you don't have an exceptionally gifted fighter like this guy, Boots, yeah, man, you couldn't, all that money you put into the kid could be gone. But, you know, Boots is such a, you know, exceptionally gifted fighter. You know what I mean? In the back end, you know, Chris started making his money back and everything before, you know, the contract ran out and then he became a free agent. And, you know, but anyway, what do you call it? I still, you know, how old is that Boots? 26, 27?
No, he's a little bit older. I think he's maybe pushing 30. Let me look it up.
He's not that
quick,
old. Nah. My guy, they were pretty much the same age when they fought. He was 27, 28 when they fought at the National Golden Gloves. Yeah, they were in that same age group. But he's still.
It doesn't list it on BoxRec. Hold on, sir.
Well, it don't matter. Yeah, he's still a young guy, and you know he's a free agent. He only signed a 3-fight.
You're right.
Yeah. Okay, I was right. Yep. Yeah, because my guys in that range, Pablo, when they fought at the National Golden Gloves, when they fought in the same tournament. So you know he's still young. He only did a 3-fight deal, so he's not tied down for Eddie. You know what I mean? He's not married to Eddie or DAZN for a long time. So you know he could, you know what I mean? He could 3 fights will go by fast, and he'll be able to negotiate another contract if he gets bigger and he grows. Yeah, he'll, you know, depending what the economic environment is in boxing, yeah, you can ask for more money. But anyway, yeah, it's a good start, man. And now he's in, you know, he's not in a long-term contract with Eddie, so yeah, and he's you know, his first fight there, he's gonna do over 10,000, which ain't too many people in boxing do 10,000. Okay,
that is true. That is true. And
you know what?
Go ahead, sir.
Ain't too many people in boxing do 10,000.
No, that's right. And you know what? Thank God he doesn't have a long-term contract with Eddie, but because who else besides Conor Ben does he have at 47 or 54 to stick him in with?
Well, Conor Bennett be a good sacrificial lamb. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, but you better have plenty of drug testing before that fight.
Oh man, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Drug test that motherfucker every day. And yeah, have the fight in Philly. That would be a hot fight.
That would be a hot fight. Yep. And you would get plenty of people to make the trek from the UK. So
yeah, that would, man, see that shit like that makes sense.
Would be great as well. Yep.
Or Joe, he's right across that bridge from Philly to Atlantic City. Don't you think them big casinos would want to get involved?
And you know what? And Atlantic City needs another big attraction, just like they used to have with Arturo Gatti.
Joe, don't you think Atlantic City, with all that casino money, would want to get involved? They could put the fight at the convention, Atlantic City Convention Center, man, and that'll pack. And Atlantic City used to be one of the hot markets in boxing back in the days, man. We used to fight there a lot with my heavyweight Claybay back in the days, man. It was a hot market because of the casinos. They love boxing. The East Coast love boxing, and every time there was a good fight over there, big crowds would convey to Atlantic City. Okay, I've been to a few of them, man, and we fought over there a lot of times with my heavyweight, and I know that's a great market, man. Atlantic City, with that casino money, and if Boots gets hot in Philly, hey man, it's just a little drive across a bridge, and they're in Atlantic City, and man, it makes sense, man. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Yep. And guys, so we look forward to seeing Jaron Boots Ennis's first step towards that ultimate goal in becoming a massive attraction in the U.S. market. Let's hope that happens. Coach Gogue, we're speaking of big attractions. What's going on? Why were there two big-time boxing events on, and it was dwarfed by Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal?
They got more mainstream. They have more mainstream appeal because when they were with the UFC, everybody knew them motherfuckers. Okay, all right, all right. They got that mainstream appeal. Okay, they got their own big fan base, a lot bigger than Jaron Boots Ennis and SHAKUR. Okay, they're more well known because of their mainstream appeal. Yeah, I heard that fight did 18,000. Yeah, it was on pay-per-view too. Yep. It was on pay-per-view. I like to know what the pay-per-view numbers are.
Yep, I'm working on that, and I'll be able to let you know within the next few days. But you can take it to the bank. My guy from Foxtel will tell me. So I'm gonna get that from him. And look, I'm sure he's gonna come to me with much more favorable numbers, guys, probably rivaling or doing much better than Tank Davis's last pay-per-view.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a fucking doubt. Them guys are a lot more well-known than Benavidez and Tank. Yeah.
Coach, are we looking at the future or the present of USA boxing? Guys like Jake Paul, guys like Nate Diaz, guys who are, becoming much bigger attractions than the guys who are demanding millions currently.
Well, that's what's happening. You got guys that are bigger draws, sell more pay-per-view, and they're not as good as fighters as the guys that that want a lot of money and they can't fucking. They're not really big draws. You know what I mean? Yeah, guys like Paul, now this Nate Diaz, now that Matchroom. Yeah, man. Because of their mainstream appeal. People wanted to see that fight and everything, and it was a big buildup. I hear. I didn't follow it, but I just heard. But Kevin Iole, the former writer for Yahoo Sports, he was saying that was 18,000. Wow, I was like, I was shocked.
Now, guys, compare that to 8,100 for Shakur Stevenson in his hometown. Guys, Shakur has a long way to go before he starts demanding and expecting that kind of money. But, once again, these guys with that sense of entitlement, they need to humble themselves and start promoting, taking a more active role in their career and quit saying stupid shit on social media. Speaking of that, Coach Gogue, your final thoughts. I know you don't want to, and I don't want you to spend a whole lot of time on this. Did Ryan Garcia just flush his career down the toilet?
He keeps his fucking mouth shut from now then to the time he gets off suspension. They could rebuild his career because he's still popular. You know, Ryan's a personable guy, man. You know what I mean? He might say some stupid shit and do some stupid shit, but he's a personable guy. You know, you can see, how he reacts, how he acts around people, man. You know what I mean? He's he's very cordial. He's very, energetic. He has that, that charisma. Now, there's certain people he's polarizing too. You know what I mean? There's a lot of fighters. I don't mention names. They can't stand the guy, and he's had arguments with them, and over Twitter or in person or whatever. But majority of the fans, he's he just a personable, a relatable guy, meaning he could relate to any nationality, any race or anything. And the shit he said, man, I don't know what the fuck was going on through that head. I don't think he took his psych meds or anything. So I don't know what he don't even know what he was saying. So, but if he keeps his mouth shut and keeps clean, yeah, by the time he comes back, you know what I mean, Joe, there's going to be buzz. Believe it or not, there's going to be a buzz about him, man. People ain't going to forget him. There's going to be buzz, and they're going to want to see him fight. Now, if that rematch with Haney, happens, his first fight back, there's going to be a lot of buzz. Yeah.
Well, yep. Let's hope there's still buzz by the time he gets back into boxing. And that's going to be just about it, guys. And so, Coach Gogue, your parting shots for our listening audience there.
No, I'm just waiting for the fights this week. Who is fighting? You there, Joe?
What was that, Coach? What was that, sir?
Who the fuck's fighting this week? I don't even know.
I told you, Jaron Ennis versus David Avanesian.
Oh, fuck. Okay. I don't follow boxing. I find out the day before, that guy's fighting. I don't follow boxing. Look, man, I don't follow boxing a lot, man. Honestly, Joe, the information I don't follow, but it's what you tell me or the little information I get from social media, but I really don't, follow this shit. I just watch the shit. If I like the fight, okay, I'll watch it. If I don't like it, I'll pass. But one thing I do like is watching the, I do try to follow is the upcoming prospects. You know what I mean? The future blood of boxing, the guys I think that are going to be the next stars of boxing, like that kid they got, Golden Boy just signed, Iriarty, Joel, the welterweight. Yeah, he's so far so good. He got my attention and everything, but you can see the hype they're trying to build that guy up into. You know what I mean? They're really hyping him up and everything.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, he's and Golden Boy thinks highly of him. They think he's going to be their next star of their stable. And but the guys like Abdullah Mason, young kid, he's coming up. Who else they got coming up, man? Young stars of boxing, man. Fuck. Name some, Joe.
Well, I will. Well, hold on. Before we go, I completely forgot about this, and for good reason. Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez is going to be competing this Friday on ESPN, making his comeback at age 38, 37. And also, oh gosh, I can't believe this isn't a thing. Janabek Ali Manala will be defending his titles on ESPN the same night as Jaron Ennis, and no one is talking about it.
Who the fuck cares about that non-English speaking, non-ticket selling, boring? What's he? Uzbekistan? I don't know what country is he from.
No, he's from Kazakhstan, exactly like Gennady Golovkin.
Like I said, man, who gives a shit about that guy, man? At least Gennady made the effort to learn the English language so he could communicate to the American public. Okay, so he could so the American public could have more rapport with him, have more of a connection. See, Joe, when you speak the English language, people, the people that's out there that don't know any other language besides English, you establish that connection, that rapport. Okay. And that's something that Uzbek, whatever that guy, you know what I mean? Can't understand what the fuck he says. You know what I mean? He's not an appealing fighter. He's not an appealing fighter to watch. And oh gee, yeah, he just, like I said, I could give a shit. And the guy, like I said, in boxing, you need stars in boxing. Okay, you gotta keep injecting this fucking sport with new blood. That's what keeps the longevity and health of the business healthy. What do you call it, Joe? Vibrant. Okay, that's the word. Vibrant. You know, you got to keep, just like college football, man. What do you think this recruiting wars every year for the kids coming out of the high school, coming out of all the high schools over there? They always want the best talent because they know the best talent is the life and blood of their program. Ain't no fucking every coach. They recruit hard on these kids, man. Because you know, these young kids are the new blood that keeps college football exciting, growing. It keeps it vibrant, energetic. You know what I mean? Where people want to tune the fuck in and look at the ratings they get. Look at the sponsorships they get. Okay, it's an influx of new talent. Now you look at USA. It's a fucking joke. USA amateur boxing. There ain't a lot of stars coming out. That USA amateur boxing team, it's got to be one of the worst I've ever seen. There's only five guys that qualified for the Olympics in Paris.
Wow.
And three of them ain't worth a shit, and two of them, to me, are so-so. They're not like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Only five guys. It's the worst amateur. I don't want to rag on them, man, but it's the worst amateur team I've ever seen in USA boxing, man. It's just,
oh boy. Man, you know what? And it very well may be the last for the Olympics. This one coming around.
Nah, Joe. Boxing is man. If it's the next Olympics is in LA, and man, the powers that be, you know what I mean, they're gonna want to keep boxing in the Olympics, man, because it's just
let's hope
too much history, too much tradition. The lineage goes all the way back to the 30s, you know what I mean, 40s, you know,
of course,
the 20s.
Of course.
They're not gonna cut it out, Joe. They're not gonna cut it out, man. It's just the quality of fighters coming out. God, there's not a lot of stars. And like I said, what makes professional boxing healthy is the influx of new talent coming out of USA boxing. Not fighters coming from fucking Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan and Estonia, Russia, and all these fucking countries that nobody gives a shit about. They got to come out of USA boxing. Stars like Jaron, Boots, Ennis, Bam Rodriguez. Who else came? The young stars coming out of that are in the top 10 pound for pound, you know, in boxing. Like Terrence Crawford, SHAKUR Stevenson, all these guys. What's that guy's name? Keyshawn Davis. All them motherfuckers came out of USA boxing, and you got to keep injecting professional boxing with new talent coming out. But I just don't see it, man. I don't get excited, man. And I just like, oh, okay. Now, Joel Iriarty, you know, he slipped. He slipped by me because I don't follow USA boxing like I used to. So when he turned pro, I had no idea who the fucking guy was because I didn't follow him like I did in the past. He slipped through my cracks. I usually spot him off and okay, yeah, that's the guy to look out for and everything.
And there it is, guys. And there it is. I tell you what, but Gogue, we appreciate your time and we appreciate your matinee program. Guys, if you missed any part of this show, please go back and rewind it this time, or you can listen to it anytime this week. But guys, if you could, please hit the like button in your support for Coach Gogue and Warwick Boxing. Anything else you'd like to add before you step away, Coach?
Nah, man, just waiting to see Jaron Boots Ennis. He'll put on a show. Don't worry about it. He will put on a show.
Once again, guys, if Coach says it, you can take it to the bank, guys. And we appreciate Coach. We always learn something new every time we listen. Guys, and we want to thank you guys for joining us today and supporting Coach James Gogue. And guys, on behalf of the coach, I'm Joseph Hearn. You've been listening to Warwick Boxing. Have a great rest of your Monday, everybody.
Holdings proudly presents Warwick Radio with 5-decade fight trainer, Coach James Gogue.